number 10, Chase McNary. This one is probably the worst because this guy was one of the least memorable people on The Bachelor, and he was asking for something that I've never even heard of. In the long email, Chase's reps described that he's been on The Bachelorette as well as Bachelor in Paradise, and touted his social media following. Then they got to the part where they offer a collaboration. Basically, Chase wanted a free place to live in exchange for his, services. The email states that Chase is looking to partner with an apartment complex in Denver as a quote, live-in social influencer, which I assume means he posts often about the place in exchange for free rent. Since this was posted to the internet, I would assume the apartment did not take him up on the offer and instead thought it was ridiculous. And at number 9, free meal. This influencer was mad that a restaurant she went to did not value her presence enough to give her a discount on her meal. Let me explain. In the 1-star review, the influencer explained that she went to the restaurant, ordered a ton of food, and the food was really good. At one point, the manager came over to ask about the food, and the influencer told the manager that she had some followers and was going to be posting the food to her social media, which the manager obviously appreciated. But when the bill came, the influencer was infuriated at the fact that the manager did not give her some sort of discount because she said she would be posting the food. The influencer finished it off saying she thought the food was great, but won't be going back anytime soon because the manager needs to understand how to treat customers. This is entitled for many reasons, but also no one asked for you to put it on your Instagram, so there's that. And at number 8, Jake Paul. You guys already know at least one of the Paul brothers had to be on this list, and I'm sure Jake could be on this list for multiple reasons. But Jake got slammed after he posted to his Instagram looking to hire a music producer and sound engineer in exchange for clout. The post read, quote, "If you are a young aspiring music producer and engineer, please read. We are in need of a full-time in-house producer engineer who will mainly act as an engineer for us. This will be an internship position and will provide you with real-life experience, connections, exposure, and a whole lot of fun." Kind of dancing around the fact that there would be no actual payment involved, and the person would be offering their services in exchange for pretty much nothing. Ethan Klein responded on Twitter, quote, "Full-time in-house producer who is also an intern. Bro, you can afford to pay him, you cyberbully," referencing his Cody Co cyberbully scandal that was taking place at that time. Another person posted a fake application email, saying, quote, "Oh my god, hi Jake, I would like to work with you for exposure. My interests include getting shafted by rich boys. Please write back." And at number 7, Johnny Meggs. Influencer Johnny Meggs was exposed by John Lethan when Lethan posted a screenshot of a conversation on Instagram. In the DM, Meggs asks if a restaurant can create a dinner for him and his bridesmaids for the next night as a surprise. He then adds that he hopes they can do some sort of collaboration in exchange for the food. When the restaurant owner follows up and asks what he means by collaboration, Meggs explains that he can do some grid and story posts of the food to give the restaurant exposure. And there's just so much wrong with this. Firstly, Johnny Meggs isn't a food influencer, so it really doesn't make sense for him to even promote it. And to do a whole dinner for a bunch of people the very next day is super expensive and way more valuable than a few posts from a guy with 50,000 followers. And at number 6, free meal number 2. This is yet another influencer who was hoping for a free meal in exchange for promotion. It starts off with an email from an influencer saying they were on the show, quote, "My Kitchen Rules," and they were hoping for a free meal at the restaurant in exchange for posting on Instagram. But the restaurant did not like this and clapped back by posting the email on their Instagram story, as well as adding that they can pay like everyone else and their exposure does nothing to translate into actual dollars, even adding that if Katy Perry can pay for food at their restaurant, so can this influencer. Halfway at number 5, entitled brat. This is one of those cases where an influencer turned into a spoiled brat once they didn't get what they asked for. The influencer started off saying that they loved the brand's products and that they want to promote them on their page. The brand responded asking what they were thinking, and the influencer said that they want free items in exchange for a post. The brand then said no and called out the fact that the influencer only had 1,000 followers. The influencer then snapped and started to tell the brand that their clothes sucked anyways, and the brand will, quote, "never get an opportunity like this in their life." To which the brand simply replied, "Good luck." And at number 4, crazy. There's no other word to describe this conversation other than just bat crazy. I can't even comprehend that this is a real conversation that happened. It started with the influencer DMing a musician, asking if they can post their music to their page. The musician reluctantly replied yes, and then the influencer says that they actually needed $10 for the post, to which the musician replies no, because they only have 2,000 followers. After the musician says no a few more times, the influencer totally changes their demeanor and starts being really weird and condescending, even threatening to still post the song on their page, which is kind of a weird threat. The musician then says that they will sue if the influencer posts their music, to which the influencer responded, quote, "LOL stupid," 4 times. This influencer has something seriously wrong with them. And at number 3, huge discount. This one starts off with the influencer asking a company if they can create a picnic setup for them and 10 friends. When the company gives their rate for how much that would be, the influencer claps back that they actually want it for free. And on top of the free meal, the company would actually need to pay the influencer $200 to post it on their socials. And this would apparently be quite the opportunity for the picnic company, because the influencer usually charges $1,200 to be on their page. One commenter summed it up perfectly and said this influencer basically wanted her to do a service for her, then pay her for the pleasure of doing work for her. Outrageous. And at number 2, won't pay for art. This might be the most demanding influencer I've ever seen, who wouldn't pay a measly €10 for some art. It starts with the artist reaching out because the influencer's manager contacted them, and the influencer tells them to start working ASAP on a drawing. While the influencer is in a rush for the artist to get started, the artist says that he will not start working until someone signs his invoice. The influencer then gets very defensive and questions why the artist would even have the nerve to ask for payment, because the artist will be getting exposure from their 240,000 followers. We then learn that the artist is only asking for €10, and the influencer is so cheap he won't even pay that. When the influencer calls the artist dispensable and says he'll just get someone else, the artist replies that he won't be doing the work. And finally at number 1, $30,000 sapphire. This ask is so ridiculous I can't even believe that it's real, but this influencer, putting that in quotes because they only have 300 followers, asked to receive a $30,000 sapphire necklace in exchange for posting it on their story, and I guess on their Instagram in general, to their 300 followers. This person is so delusional that they think posting to their 300 followers is worth the price of a $30,000 necklace. Like, what world do we live in? The brand acts very graceful when declining the request and says that they will only be giving away the necklace for money, obviously. But the brand is very nice and actually offers to send a small stone for free, which is a lot more than I would have offered. But the influencer does not like this and says in all caps that they don't want the cheap stone. They even threaten to leave a bad review on the item. So the brand says that they are blocking them. And at number 10, Logan Paul. Back in the day, the Paul brothers would do almost anything to go viral. In 2016, Logan claimed in a video that he was colorblind. He then said he got some glasses that cured him and made him see colors again. Of course, this video went insanely viral because everyone couldn't believe his condition was cured by these glasses. But then Logan was forced to come clean and admit that he never actually experienced color blindness. So obviously the glasses were completely fake and didn't cure him either. After tons of backlash, he said he just wanted to make content that would capture what it was like to be colorblind. But obviously he didn't do that and he just offended the community by making over-exaggerated reactions. Logan still claims that he is mildly colorblind and it's hard for him to make out red colors, but the internet doesn't buy it. And at number 9, Zoe Sugg. Zoe Sugg, aka Zoella, was the first massive YouTuber. She was also one of the first YouTubers to get brand deals along with offers to create her own products to sell. In 2014, she decided to release her own book called Girl Online, which was a huge hit. Reports even claim that it broke records for how much it sold in the first week. She also made the New York Times Young Adult Bestsellers list for the book. But then speculation started to rise about whether she authored the book completely, as she never said she got help with it. Eventually it was exposed that she did get help writing the book, which outraged her fans. Her publisher Penguin also released a statement saying, quote, "The factual accuracy of the matter is simply that Zoe Sugg did not write Girl Online on her own. For her first novel, Girl Online, Zoe has worked with an expert editorial team to help her bring to life her characters and experiences in a heartwarming and compelling story." And at number 8, Daisy Marquez. Daisy is a popular makeup YouTuber who went viral after claiming that she was haunted. While filming a brand deal, the door behind her mysteriously opened and hit her in the back. She looked very nervous for a moment and then turned around and saw that nobody was there to push the door. Fans even claimed that they saw orbs floating around in the video. In a tweet, Daisy explained a lot of paranormal things were happening to her at that time. She tweeted, quote, "I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I find it so weird that I fell down the stairs earlier today. I didn't trip, I wasn't on my phone, I legit just fell down the stairs as if someone pushed me. I find it so bizarre and scary now that this just happened." Some fans believed Daisy and were worried for her, but others thought she was lying and staged the whole thing. Daisy still denies lying, but the general consensus on the internet is that she was faking. And at number 7, Danielle Cohen. TikToker and YouTuber Danielle Cohen is known for being controversial. Something that has been following her for years is that people think she is way too young to be wearing and doing things that she does online. Some have even accused her mother of exploiting her. Things got even stranger when her father revealed on Facebook that she is much younger than she claims online. At the time, he claimed his daughter was only 13 while she was pretending to be 15. Apparently, she is 2 years younger than she claims. This claim was speculated once again in 2020 when on a live stream, Danielle insinuated that she was 14, which matches up with the age that her father said she was. Since her father showed a birth certificate to back up his claims, many believe that he's the one telling the truth. Danielle has also lied about being pregnant in the past, and her boyfriend said the announcement was a prank. And at number 6, Brittany Dawn Davis. Brittany Dawn Davis is a fitness influencer that got cancelled after she sold personalized diet and fitness programs, but didn't follow through on her promises. She charged up to $300 for personalized diet and exercise programs, ebooks, and online coaching sessions. But in the end, customers hardly received anything. According to petitions and complaints, it took weeks to months for Davis to send over any plans after they were paid for, and they were not personalized. When customers tried to tell Brittany about the issues, she ignored it and deleted the comments. Then finally, a video of a man confronting her about the issue went viral, and she was forced to own up to the scam in a video. She did give some refunds, but apparently it was only for half the cost. Halfway number 5, Aggie Lai. Aggie Lai was an influencer that decided she wanted to teach her followers how to become influencers themselves. In 2018, she promoted a 12-week course on how to grow your Instagram, which is pretty standard, but she decided to charge a whopping $500 for this course. Apparently, the high cost was a conscious decision to keep people who were not serious about the course away. She said, quote, "I wanted the price to be a little painful so it feels like an investment and will discourage people who are not serious about blogging as their future to participate." After selling the course to hundreds of people, Aggie uploaded 6 weeks of the course, then pretty much just ghosted. She claimed she had health issues and no Wi-Fi, so that's why she didn't post. Many of the videos also showcased other people selling their own products, so it felt like a big pyramid scheme. And at number 4, Caroline Calloway. Caroline Calloway is labeled the OG Instagram scammer. In early 2019, the writer, who had built a following sharing her life with the world, launched a creativity workshop tour. It's not specified what was supposed to happen in these workshops, but she charged a lot of money and the attendees got basically nothing out of it. After selling tickets, many dates and locations were cancelled, and those who did attend felt that they didn't get what was promised. After this, the workshop was labeled a scam. But instead of fixing the issues, she decided to rebrand the entire event as, quote, the scam. Then Calloway's former BFF exposed that Caroline had a ghostwriter for most of the time she was posting, and her reputation never recovered. And at number 3, Giovanna Ravana Mendoza. Ravana used to have one of the largest vegan YouTube channels. She would share recipes and talk about topics all revolving around veganism. But she wasn't just a normal vegan, she was actually a raw vegan and only ate raw foods. However, her career and channel came to a crashing halt after she was exposed for lying. In 2019, Giovanna was in Bali with another YouTuber, and while they were filming, this YouTuber caught Giovanna eating fish on video. After the leak, her reputation took a major hit, and her fans turned on her. She told the Daily Beast about her experience, quote, "I felt like someone had died. It was one of the worst days of my life." In her apology video, Mendoza claimed that she had to abandon her plant-based diet due to health reasons, but she was still promoting the vegan lifestyle on her channel when she was called out, so even more hypocritical. And at number 2, Olivia Jade. Olivia Jade was living every girl's dream. She had famous and rich parents who bought her everything she could need, and she even made a name for herself through her YouTube channel. But that all came crashing down when the world discovered that she had paid her way into university. According to the charges, her parents shelled out around $500,000 in bribes to get Olivia and her sister accepted to USC. When the cheating scheme was revealed, Olivia lost sponsorship deals with Sephora and Estee Lauder, while her Instagram was flooded with comments calling her a fraud. Then old videos of hers were dug up where she flat out said she didn't care about college and was mainly there to party. She said in the video, quote, "I'm gonna go in and talk to my deans and everyone, and I hope I can try and balance it all, but I do want the experience of like game days, partying. I don't really care about school, as you guys all know," which just proved how entitled she was. And finally, at number 1, Austin McBroom. Austin McBroom has a thriving career, filming his life on his family YouTube channel, The Ace Family. However, as the years go by, it's becoming clear that the Ace family is not one big happy family, it's all for the cameras. It's been speculated that Austin cheats on Catherine constantly, and that they're only together for the sake of their channel. Other creators have even called out Austin for cheating. Tana Mojo tweeted out, quote, "One time Austin McBroom was cheating on Catherine with a random girl, and she left a lipstick in his car. Then I was sitting with Jake in the car and he gets a FaceTime. It's from Austin crying and Catherine yelling, 'Is this Tana's lipstick?' Austin says that it was, but it wasn't. Austin clapped back that it was actually Erica Costell's lipstick and he wasn't cheating, but no one really believed him." And at number 10, Azusa Gayoki. Instagram versus reality is something that we cover on the channel pretty often, but this one is truly another level. We talk about Facetune often, but there's an app called Face App which can change someone's face so well that the person could look entirely differently than what they appear. And that's what happened here. A Japanese media outlet recently exposed this young female influencer is actually a 50-year-old man using Face App to change himself into the popular influencer. Some of their followers had been suspicious for a while, but these bombshell photos show the clear before and after. When asked why he did it, the man said he adopted a feminine and youthful image to gain followers because he thought that nobody would be interested in following a man his age. And at number 9, Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is known for his signature look of black chin-length hair, heavy eyeliner, and lipstick. He rarely goes out in public without wearing the heavy makeup, and when he does, he is completely unrecognizable. He spoke about his obsession with makeup in one interview, saying, quote, "I wear makeup because it's the way I like to look. More like why a woman wears makeup, not in terms of looking feminine, but just to look a specific way. Maybe attractive is the right word." In photos where he is not wearing makeup, he looks nothing like himself. He has no eyebrows because he generally fills them in, and his lips are much smaller than they appear because he overlines them. When he is in full makeup out in public, he's Marilyn Manson. Then without it all, he's Brian Warner. And at number 8, Trisha Paytas. Ethan Klein once labeled Trisha Paytas the quote, "spokesperson for Instagram versus reality" because of how different Trish looks on Instagram versus in photos and videos. On the left we have an Instagram photo, then on the right there's a picture of Trish without any makeup on, but in the same hairstyle. The difference is day and night, and it's clear the change is due to heavy makeup along with some editing. I'm sure camera angles also made a huge difference as well, but if you saw Trish on the street in that second photo, you might not have realized that it's actually her. And at number 7, Blac Chyna. Chyna has been caught editing her Instagram photos many times. Once was in a selfie with Kim Kardashian where it's clear their waists and butts were altered. But this one from 2018 is so shocking that it's hard to believe it was actually posted to the internet. When you first look at the photo, nothing seems too strange and Chyna looks amazing. But when you look closer at the door, you can see that to her right there's a huge squiggle or wave, if that's the right word to call it, in the door, clearly showing the photo was heavily edited. I would love to know what the before looks like on this one, honestly. Fans not only called out Chyna for the Photoshop fail, but they also got angry at her for changing her body in her photos, which can negatively affect our perception of what a real body looks like. And at number 6, Tammy Hembrow. Tammy Hembrow was exposed by Instagram page Beauty False in some side-by-side images of her on Instagram versus in reality. Frankly, these photos aren't all that different, but it seems that fans were mainly disappointed because she is a fitness page, so it's not fair to say that you worked in the gym to get a certain look, then basically edit your body online. We're also sure that Tammy takes advantage of her angles to look way more snatched in her Instagram photos. Many in the comments accused Tammy of being a boxy body shape in real life, but making it seem like she is curvy on Instagram due to her edits in posing. Halfway number 5, NX Shia. This influencer with over 800,000 followers has not revealed her real name, but in the side-by-side you can see that her body on Instagram versus real life is very different. This influencer has not been shy that she edits her photos. She apparently even teaches her followers how to edit like her, but the difference is still shocking. The side-by-side that shocked me the most was this first one in the blue and white dress. She made her body an entirely different shape through editing, along with making her makeup a lot more prominent. She's still very beautiful without the Photoshop, so I wish she would embrace her natural look. And at number 4, Lisa Lee. This one's not so much a case of the influencer changing themselves in their photos, rather this influencer changed her life to make it appear a lot more glamorous than it actually is. Chinese influencer Lisa Lee gained over 1 million followers for her posh lifestyle that all of her followers wanted, but her landlord exposed it was all a lie. Her landlord took a video of what her luxury apartment actually looked like, and it was absolutely disgusting, full of moldy food and dog poop. The landlord said in the video that it was so dirty that even professional cleaners did not want to clean it. Lee also had several unpaid utility bills amounting to about 3,000 won. The landlord described Lee as a beautiful woman online but a disgusting person in her personal life. After being exposed online, she decided to change her ways and clean her nasty apartment. And at number 3, Kumchuk X2. This influencer has over 160,000 followers and is known for her hourglass shape, but CelebFace exposed that it was all a lie. In the side-by-side images, you can see that she consistently makes her waist smaller and hips larger to get that classic Instagram model body that we see these days. In some photos, her waist is so unnaturally small it's obvious that it's been edited, even without the original photo to compare. Her natural body still looks amazing though, and I would personally kill to look like her naturally. And at number 2, Kim Kardashian. Kim and pretty much the entire Kardashian clan are known for their voluptuous figures that they say is all natural. However, over the years the women are often accused of getting a Brazilian butt lift, where fat is taken out of the stomach and injected into the butt. These rumors really came to a head in 2017 when paparazzi photos showed Kim's butt without any retouching, and it looked nothing like what we see on Instagram. Mainly she looks to have a lot of cellulite on her legs and butt, along with it not being perfectly smooth and round like we see on Instagram. Kim actually denied that these photos were real and claimed that the photographer edited the photos to make her butt look even worse than it actually does. But fans saw through the BS, and Kim apparently lost 100,000 followers because of this scandal. And at number 10, Sarah McDaniel. Sarah McDaniel became known to the world for a rare condition that made her eyes different colors, called heterochromia. She started off as an Instagram model, but following the fame from her condition, her career exploded, and she was getting deals in magazines because of her newfound fame. But shortly after all the fame, her own father exposed that it was all a lie, and instead of having heterochromia, Sarah was born with 2 brown eyes. Sarah has denied the claims and says she does have the condition, but fans are also suspicious and have noticed that her blue eyes change often, so clearly she was wearing blue colored contacts at some point. And at number 9, Casey Sosnowski. I'm not sure if Casey was considered an influencer before this incident, but she certainly is now. In 2019, she posted a photo of herself hiking. No big deal, right? But her sister Carly decided to expose the truth and posted to Twitter the reality of the situation. Apparently the photo was not taken on a hiking trail like Casey said, and it was actually taken in their backyard. As of now, the tweet has over 250,000 likes, so I guess Casey's secret was not kept for long. And at number 8, Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio. Arguably the worst scandal Charlie and Dixie have been involved in was surrounding their family channel dinner vlog with James Charles. In the video, the girls were being brats to their private chef, rude to their guest James, and all around just acting like spoiled children. Also, during this dinner, Charlie complained about not having 100 million followers on TikTok yet, which made the whole thing much worse. In the end, fans mass unsubscribed from her TikTok, which caused her to lose 1 million followers in a single day. Trisha Paytas also got involved and doubled down on the girls being spoiled brats. In the end, Charlie apologized and cried on Instagram Live, and James also defended her, and the whole thing eventually blew over, with Charlie reaching 100 million followers a few days later. And at number 7, Marissa Fuchs and Gabriel Grossman. This couple got in major hot water after fans speculated that their entire engagement was one big brand deal. The couple filmed a 3-day-long scavenger hunt, then edited in Grossman proposing. At first, everyone thought the proposal was romantic and well planned, but then a marketing deck was uncovered, showing their engagement was something they were willing to have sponsored. The story quickly went viral, with people mocking the couple for thinking they could get away with such a scheme. In the end, the bride claimed that she had no idea any of it was happening, or that the proposal was being used as a marketing ploy. But most agree that a man would not do this unless he knew that she would have been okay with it. And at number 6, Mariel Marrero. Mar, whose real name is Mariel Marrero, participated in the challenge where you go to a 1-star location and review it on your YouTube channel. While Mar was in Las Vegas, she decided to go to a 1-star beauty salon and get a makeover. Throughout the video, she used captions to say that the makeup products were burning her skin. She also claimed she ended up with a skin infection. The worst part was that she made no effort to keep this location hidden, and she clearly trashed the place for the world to see. She also claimed that she told the makeup artist that her skin was burning with a certain product, but the MUA still used that product. Marrero said later in the video that after a couple of days, she got red bumps on her face. After that video gained traction, the daughter of the makeup artist named Tiff called out Mar on Twitter for faking the whole thing. Tiff claimed it was all set up, and Mar asked for something that the MUA said she was not skilled in. Mar also claimed to be in a rush the whole time, which made the application way more difficult. In the end, the salon asked for proof that Mar actually got a skin infection, but she never gave it. Halfway number 5, Carissa Pinkston. Carissa Pinkston was a model that was known for her work with Rihanna's Savage X Fenty brand, but she got in hot water after making transphobic comments on Facebook saying trans women are not real women. After the statement started getting backlash, she backtracked and claimed to be trans herself, saying that the comments were a reflection of her own insecurities. But then some of her old friends and classmates came forward saying that was not true and Carissa was not trans like she was claiming. Carissa then tried to redeem herself with several videos and posts, but it did not work. She told Insider that she's been devastated financially by what happened, and people shouldn't be judged for asking questions, forming opinions, and creating dialogue. And at number 4, Haley Pham. YouTuber Haley Pham was called out after she posted a video on her YouTube channel ranting about her horrible vacation vacation to Greece. In the 35-minute video, she complained about messing up her flights and hotel bookings, also complaining about the bad experience that she had while in the emergency room in Greece after she contracted a mysterious illness. The point of the video was that Greece was not what it seemed. In the video, she said Greece's economy and government were struggling, that the island isn't fun because there isn't much to do. She also said the island isn't what it seems online, adding, quote, "Santorini is not as pretty as the Instagram bloggers make it seem, so that's just a little insight in case you were wondering," because I feel like that's pretty surprising to a lot of people to hear because it's on a lot of people's bucket lists. So that's just my review of it. After the video was posted, it was flooded with dislikes and people calling her entitled. She later ended up deleting the video. And at number 3, Lisa Lee. Chinese influencer Lisa Lee gained over 1 million followers with her luxurious lifestyle. Her landlord ended up exposing her and took a video of what her apartment actually looked like, and it was the most disgusting thing that I have ever seen, full of moldy food and dog poop. The landlord said in the video that it was so dirty that even professional cleaners did not want to clean the apartment. The landlord also said that Lee had several unpaid utility bills amounting to about 3,000 won. The landlord described Lee as a beautiful woman online but a disgusting person in her personal life. Lee then published a video of her meeting with and apologizing to her landlord and then cleaning the apartment herself. And at number 2, Tana Mojo. The most infamous YouTuber scam is definitely TanaCon, although no one's really sure if Tana is the one that scammed people or the guy that helped her on the convention, Michael Weist. Tana made the convention just to spite VidCon, the biggest YouTube convention out there, and she went so far as to put the convention down the street on the exact same weekend. And I think everyone involved except Tana smelled disaster. Even though the venue Tana booked could only hold a little over 1,000 people, she sold tickets for about 5,000, leaving 4,000 of her fans that bought tickets to be there, standing out in the hot sun for hours. Thankfully nobody got hurt, but with a lack of security and resources, it had the potential to go even worse than it did. And finally, number 1, Jack Wagner. Jack Wagner is an internet prankster who is known for pranking influencers. A few years ago, Wagner decided to create an Instagrammable mural and put it in the middle of LA, but the catch was that you could not pose in front of it unless you had over 20,000 followers. He even went so far as hiring a security guard who enforced the 20K rule. Apparently, even legit actors fell for the prank and showed up to take a photo with the mural. In the end, Wagner roasted everyone involved and showed that the mural was nothing more than a doodle.
Coming at number 10, Kourtney Kardashian. Now, although Kourtney may seem like one of the more rational Kardashians, this story from her former nanny is a bit nuts. A nanny who had previously worked for the reality show star exposed Kourtney and her ridiculous requests. While speaking with Star Magazine, the ex-nanny revealed that Kourtney demanded to never be called by her first name. Instead, she preferred to be called Madam, not Ma'am, but Madam. In the interview, she says, "She asked me to call her Madam at all times. I once slipped up and called her Kourtney and she threw a hissy fit. I never made that mistake again." Eesh. Coming at number 9, Lady Gaga. Back in 2013, Lady Gaga's former assistant Jennifer O'Neill went after the singer, claiming that she was taking her to court for unpaid overtime wages. Within the court documents, Jennifer said that she had to be on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, adding that she even had to frequently sleep in the same bed as Gaga because she never had her own hotel room while they were on tour together. Plus, it was faster if Lady Gaga needed anything in the night. According to Gaga, though, she claimed that Jennifer was suing her for money that she didn't earn. Jennifer was asking for nearly $400,000 in overtime pay and further damages after having to be at the singer's beck and call from 2009 to 2011. Her annual salary for this job was $75K, and in the deposition, Lady Gaga said that she didn't deserve a penny more. Although something must have happened because later court filings say that they had come to a settlement outside of court. In number 8, Christian Bale. Harrison Chung worked as Christian Bale's personal assistant for over a decade and even wrote a book called Christian Bale: The Inside Story of the Darkest Batman. And the stories he tells about the star in this book are absolutely insane. In one portion exposing Bale, he says, "If Christian was away filming on location, I would take care of his 5 pets along with stray possums in the backyard as a special request. I would do anything from sniffing Christian's armpits for BO right before he hit the red carpet to making emergency sock runs if Christian was all out of clean ones. Sometimes duties were as exciting as traveling to film festivals and as dull as watching Christian surf in case something needed to be done on shore. I just can't get over the fact that he actually hired someone to sniff his armpits." Harrison would later tell the Daily Mail that it took 5 years of therapy to get past the post-traumatic stress he had from working with Bale. In at number 7, Scott Rudin. You may have never even heard of Scott Rudin before, but he actually holds the unofficial crown of being Hollywood's most feared boss. Forever he was upheld as being this legendary producer of The Truman Show and many other big films, although his revolving door of former assistants revealed some pretty wild stories about him. Apparently he had as many as 250 assistants from the year 2000 to 2005, one of which was fired for bringing him a bad breakfast muffin. What's crazy here though is that even as his ex-assistants blasted him in the press for how terrible he was, he He just embraced it and claimed to have an unforgiving management style. Although that certainly does not excuse the accounts I read about assistants being overworked, dealing with his random fits of rage, and having the occasional object tossed at them. Coming in number 6, Ben Stiller. Usually when we see Ben Stiller on screen, he's playing this nice guy, but as we all know, celebrities are usually quite different in person. And according to a former assistant that worked with Ben during his time on the set of Zoolander, Ben can be quite bizarre. On his first day working, this assistant was told all of the do's and don'ts of handling Ben Stiller's every need. In fact, there were even specific instructions about how he liked his iced tea. According to them, it had to be unsweetened, and then it had to be sweetened with 1.5 packs of Splenda inside and 16 ounces of unsweetened iced tea on top of that. The assistant recounted one time that they brought Stiller his iced tea in a paper cup, and then he was told to get a glass, put more ice in the glass, then pour the iced tea from the paper cup into the glass. Then upon obliging to this request, Ben took one sip and said, "What the hell is this?" And he was referring to the condensation that had formed on the glass, which would have been avoided had he just drank out of the paper cup. But regardless, he asked his assistant to continually wipe off the condensation for him. Apparently Ben doesn't like it when his hands get wet, because if he has to shake someone else's hands, then they might think that he has sweaty palms, and that's a no-go apparently. And at number 5, Charlize Theron. According to an interview Charlize Theron's former assistant did with Star Magazine, the assistant was not allowed to speak or even look at her. Then one of her former nannies also revealed that if she had anything to communicate with her boss about the kids, she actually had to just write it down in a diary. Not exactly the best way to inform a parent about what's been going on with their own kids. Hopefully she put in some exception in case of emergencies, because I could see a number of ways that this terrible, terrible rule could go wrong. She can't even say that she just doesn't have time to talk to them, because if this diary thing is true, then she has to find some time to sit down and read the odd journal entries from her staff. Like, I just picture Charlize Theron sitting there and just, "Dear diary, I hate my boss." I wonder if anyone's actually wrote that. They should. Maybe on your last day. I guess that would be your last day if you wrote that in there. Either way, let's move on to the next one. In at number 4, Jennifer Lopez. Believe it or not, but Jenny from the block has had an awful history of treating employees of hers poorly, from chauffeurs getting tired of driving her around without proper meal breaks, to people like her makeup artist being shunned after accidentally leaking details about her marriage to Mark Anthony. Although nothing compares to what her former assistant told Gawker about. According to the assistant, this is what J-Lo said she required from them. The person has to be graceful under pressure, have thick skin, and be resourceful in foreign countries. You'll be on call 24/7, you have to change diapers, work on little sleep, and cook if the butler is away. You have to know when J-Lo has her snack time, she won't say she's hungry, and you're expected to have food waiting. Wasn't that nice? In number 3, Naomi Campbell. This was one of those more infamous cases of a celebrity being exposed by their former assistant, and it still is actually a reputation that Naomi lives with today. In 2007, Campbell pleaded guilty to attacking her maid by hitting her in the head with a cell phone. As a result, she had to take anger management classes and serve a 5-day sentence of community service, plus cover her maid's hospital bills. The assistant also claimed that she grabbed her by the arms and threw her down on a couch. And during an interview with Elle magazine in 2013, she discussed this and said that she regretted losing her temper. Naomi says, and I quote, "I'm never going to get away from it. It's part of my history. I was remorseful and regretful. I've served, I did that time, and I never want to be in that position again." Coming number 2, Soulja Boy. A report came out from The Guardian that said Soulja Boy, the rapper, was being sued by his former personal assistant. In the lawsuit, she accused him of doing a number of heinous things, from locking her in a room to subjecting her to all kinds of different abuse. The 30-year-old musician is alleged to have locked the unnamed female assistant in a room for 3 days and assaulted her repeatedly during that time. Along with that, the claimant is also alleging that he abused her physically, verbally, and even would withhold her paychecks. The woman began working for Soulja Boy in December of 2018, and according to her, she was expected to not only be available at all times, but also to cook, clean, chauffeur, style his hair, and perform personal assistant tasks for him as well. In return for her working 20 hours a day and 7 days a week, he had promised her a payment of $500 per week. The lawsuit also states that after a month of working for him, he began sending unsolicited and inappropriate photos to her. Not exactly the best kind of boss. Okay guys, coming in at number 10, we have Kylie Jenner. Not only has Kylie Jenner been accused of scamming her own fans, but she has also come under fire for being a terrible tipper. There have been 2 angry waitstaff members that exposed Kylie for leaving bad tips. One was a claim from a server in New York who said, "She was fine, but she tipped $20 on a $500 dinner bill. Do with that information what you will." With another claiming that they received a $2 tip from Jenner after delivering a $250 order to her home. I genuinely think that most celebrities just do not understand how the tipping process works, although to be fair, most people that have never worked in the restaurant industry understand how they should be tipping. In North America, at least the rule is 18% of whatever your final bill is, but a lot of servers have to pay out a certain percentage from their tips, and that goes to the hostess or it goes to the line cook sometimes as well. So if you don't tip on that bill, the money is probably coming right out of that server's pocket. So on that $500 bill, she really should have been tipping somewhere in the ballpark of $90 to $100, not a $20 bill. Coming number 9, Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, it's one thing to not understand how tipping works, and it's another thing to fully know how, but just blame your lack of math skills on why you don't tip well. This is exactly how Gwyneth Paltrow tried to explain away her history of being a bad tipper. She once said during an interview that she even finds her children's school assignments to be difficult because of this, and added, "I don't understand math. There's so many things going wrong at one point, it's so frustrating." She went on to claim that her lack of math skills has even lost her job interviews. Well, thank goodness her acting career never depended on her math skills, and when it comes to tipping, if only there was some kind of magical device that we could carry around on us on a daily basis that had the ability to do basic math. That's the world I want to live in. In at number 8, Kendall Jenner. Out of all the Kardashians and Jenners, Kendall is perhaps one of the more low-key members of the family. However, that certainly does not mean that she doesn't act like an entitled celebrity from time to time. Back in 2014, she made headlines when she was accused by a waitstaff of getting upset over them not serving her alcohol. Apparently, she was underage at the time as well, so that's probably why they didn't do that. In a huff, though, she then left the restaurant without paying for her meal, a source told Page 6. Kendall got up and left and didn't pay for all of the food, about $60 worth, and without a tip. Then when she was confronted by the staff, they alleged that she threw $20 bills at them without even counting if it was enough to cover the bill, let alone the tip. Coming number 7, Ron White. A certain subreddit dedicated to bad encounters with celebrities really exposed comedian Ron White for his bad tipping habits. According to the thread, this server claims, "Ron White had a show across the street from the bar I worked at in downtown Denver. He came in with his posse and some girls and asked if he could sit on the patio. I said yes, and we proceeded to serve him for the next hour and a half. Until last call. They were the only ones there and they racked up a hefty bill. I brought them the bill, which was around $1,200, and they paid and left. When I picked it up, he had written 0 in the tip line. He didn't forget or mess it up. He wrote 0. Oof, I don't know, that's even worse. Coming number 6, Mark Zuckerberg. On top of recently getting exposed by a Facebook whistleblower, Mark is another entitled rich person who feels above tipping at restaurants. Even though he is one of the richest people in the world, Zuckerberg allegedly avoided paying what would have just been an $8 tip on a $40 restaurant bill. Although strangely enough, it wasn't the waitstaff that exposed the couple for skipping out on their bill. The owner of the restaurant actually was questioned by paparazzi after they somehow got their hands on Mark's restaurant bill and noticed the lack of gratuity. The owner defended Zuckerberg though and said that he and his wife were in a hurry, so they must have just forgotten to tip his waitstaff. They were really in love eating from the same plate of ravioli. Not sure how that adds to it, but hey, good to know, I guess. Coming in at number 5, Madonna. According to Business Insider, Madonna is by far one of the worst tippers in the world. According to a waiter at a West London restaurant, when Madonna was still married to Guy Ritchie, the pair left an $18 tip on a $400 bill, while another waiter claimed that she came into an NYC hotspot restaurant with a friend and failed to leave any tip at all. And these are just a few of the many bad encounters that servers have had with Madonna in the past. At this point, it might as well be a rite of passage for celebrity servers. Coming number 4, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods may be an incredible golfer, but he could learn a thing or two about being nicer to the waitstaff. One angry waiter reported to the New York Post that when Tiger was in Las Vegas, he refused a tip, which forced a friend that he was with to become flustered and then tip for everything herself. His reasoning, they said, was that he apparently never carries any cash on him. The Miami New Times also claimed that he once took back a $5 tip he gave to a blackjack dealer while playing a $10,000 a hand game. His reason for that was that he remembered that he had already tipped the dealer. And whether any of these are true or not, Tiger's secretive lifestyle does allow for more gossip to spread because he usually never comments on allegations like this. So believe what you will, take everything with a grain of salt. Coming in number 3, Usher. This story is the definition of entitled celebrity. According to Business Insider, Usher loves to leave an autograph as a tip, instead of, actual money. I really doubt there is a big market for Usher's scribbled autograph on a cocktail napkin, but he tries anyways. Another waiter also reported that Usher has a reputation of attempting to get other people to pick up a check, and when that fails, he tries to pass off his autograph as a form of payment. Currently, an Usher autograph is going for $28.72 or best offer. Coming number 2, Jeremy Piven. Another celebrity that enjoys trying to leave an autograph instead of actual money. Back in 2007, Piven allegedly popped into a high-class sushi restaurant in Aspen with 12 people and didn't even have a reservation. On top of that, after being seated and served, he reportedly told the manager while leaving, "Thanks for nothing." And as a tip for the hard-working waitstaff, he left a signed Entourage DVD. Again, according to that report, an enraged employee apparently threw the DVD at Piven as he was walking out. I'm guessing he intended on never coming back to this restaurant because the owner confirmed that Piven had been banned for this. An Entourage DVD. Who even has a DVD player anymore? Number 1 spot, Kirsten Dunst. Actress Kirsten Dunst is another person that has gained a reputation for being a bad tipper. According to one report, she failed to leave a tip on a bill that was just over $200. One waitress wrote about her bad encounter with Kirsten and said that she had run up a massive bill while dining in a West Hollywood restaurant. The waitress was flabbergasted when the manager ended up covering Kirsten's bill, and she still did not leave a tip from that. If someone is serving you, it shouldn't matter that the bill was paid for by the restaurant. Always tip. That doesn't mean that the owner is going to automatically tip their waitstaff, but she ended up losing out on that one.